Hey guys, it's Antiquated Ideas again, and today I wanted to talk about the recent events again with what's going on in the Capitol and what is going to happen. At least, I don't want to get into speculation too much, but at least what we know is going to happen with the inauguration. So, starting off, we know that there will be Joe Biden is going to host some sort of inauguration event at the Capitol on the 20th of this month. So we have no clue what it's going to look like, except for the fact that 20,000 National Guardsmen have been deployed to the Capitol alone to, I don't know, secure the inauguration, which I'm sure you've heard about this. It's not recent news. In fact, it's pretty much everywhere. But really, when you think about this, and this is why I wanted to make the video, is because to me, I think that it's not getting the reception that it should. And I don't mean the National Guardsmen because, uh, number one, I don't think they should even be there. But number two, I mean that the media wants to portray this as a good thing, or they want to use it to turn Americans against each other, saying that there's the threat of rioters, insurrectionists, white supremacists, all the keywords that they like to throw at you there. So, what really concerns me is the fact that nobody's talking about how 20,000 troops are basically enforcing a regime at this point. See, I don't know about you, but I don't think that at any point should a quote unquote democratic election have to be supported by the military. I think that if Biden won fair and square, we would not be in this position where we need to deploy 20,000 National Guardsmen to the Capitol. And mind you, it's not like they're just showing up there to provide basic security. No, they're showing up there full gear. They've got their packs, their rations, I mean, everything. They're there to stay, right? And forgive me if I sound a little uneducated on that. It's because, no, I am not in the National Guard. I was not in the military. So, no, I don't know everything that they bring with them. But to me, this is what it looks like, right? It looks like they're packed so that they can stay there. Granted, I mean, yeah, there is, about a week until it happens. So, of course, they have to bring some of the basic necessities, but I digress there. The fact of the matter is that they're showing up there and they're showing up in force. And to me, any good constitutional election should not require the military. Any democratic election should not require the military. And to further this, I think it's funny how good old Miss Nancy Pelosi wanted the government to seem, and this is her choice word, muscular, quote unquote, in the face of these insurrectionists and terrorists, right? So that's something to keep in mind. It's funny to me also because she proposed that bill where you have to have gender neutral terms in Congress, and then proceeded to break that. I think it was 6 times in a minute, her first speech after that. So that's pretty entertaining. But really, if you're not upset about the fact that there are troops in our capital, and most likely they will be deployed to other places throughout the states as well, I think that really it's telling that no, nobody won this correctly. You don't use troops to secure an election if you actually won it. I mean, at a certain point, yes, if it were 10 years ago, or fuck, I guess it's longer than that now, Bush and Al Gore, right? Say Al Gore won. You didn't want Al Gore to win. And you were all upset about it. Well, I mean, sure, whatever. At the very most, there might be a few demonstrations, protests, so on and so forth. But I think at this point, really, it's the American people, the real American people speaking, not the cities, if the government feels so threatened that they need to deploy, again, 20,000 troops. 20,000 is no small number. I mean, that's pretty fucking big. That's, if you were going to say that they're going to battle, then that's a fucking invasion force right there. But again, I mean, really just you have to use your brain in this case. Think about why this is a problem. I mean, I don't I really do not understand why people aren't upset about that. I mean, it seems like a lot of people have just kind of rolled over and now they're like, oh, yep, Biden won, time to go home, go to sleep for 4 years. No, I mean, if you really don't want him to have won, then say something about it. Do something about it. I mean, that's the beauty of being an American, is that while we still have our rights, you best use them to let people know what your opinion is and why your opinion is. I know there are a lot of people out there who they most likely think that Biden is so bad and whatnot just because that's what they hear on Fox News or whatever. Just like a lot of people think that Trump was so bad because that's what they heard on CNN. Excuse me, I dropped my phone. But there are also a lot of people that look at this situation with Biden and see the things that have just piled up against him, adding to the fact that he really should not be president. I mean, if there is even a doubt of election fraud, especially on the scale that it was demonstrated, then there might be an issue. Or the fact that people stormed the Capitol building, seemingly in protest of them counting the votes for Biden. I think that it's really blasphemy in a way. But anyway, to move on from that point, I just think, people should keep their eye out on that situation, especially because it's really, I mean, it's just shocking to me, the fact that it's fine in most people's eyes. I got a hiccup there. I don't know. I mean, I really don't have anything else to say about that. So yeah, just moving forward. Something else that I think is funny about it is how there's always been an argument among the left about gun control and nobody needs an AR-15. That whole stupid argument, and then you see them and they've got their protection detail that's armed with MP5s, MP7s, AR-15s, whatever else they're using. I don't think they really use a whole lot more than that, but that I'd say that's the typical protection standard in the industry now, whether it be government or private contractors. But it's funny that they always have these armed details, and now you look at all these troops in the Capitol, and of course they're going to be carrying their rifles with them. And you know what the difference is between a civilian rifle and the military's rifle? Yeah, one of them's completely automatic, right? They stripped us for that right a long time ago. So now only the military has automatic weapons. I mean, which one do you think is more deadly, especially to the common person? If the common person that's scared of an assault rifle 15 is going to look at these, I'd say one that's semi-automatic versus the one that select fire is going, the select fire one being capable of fully automatic is a little bit more concerning. I think that really it's absolute hypocrisy in the highest form of the word to have all these troops there, to have their protection details, and then argue about having to get rid of assault rifles or 30-round magazines and all this other bullshit that they want to get rid of. I mean, even more so, it's funny how the media likes to turn everything on its head and use it for their own agenda. Actually, I believe that there was a pretty good quote from I think it was Thomas Jefferson, and I don't remember the quote exactly, but if I remember um, anything about it, I believe he called the media, especially he was referring to the newspaper at the time. I believe he called it a poisonous device or something like that, or vehicle, I think he called it, which really it's not changed much in the last 200 years, but hey, so be it, I guess, right? Also, I was doing a bit of research, not, I guess, kind of just scrolling around online. And of course, I come across somebody that they had tagged AOC in some sort of a meme or something. And I was scrolling through her page because really I don't listen to her. I don't care about her. She's an idiot, in my opinion. Actually, before I get to this point, I would like to point out how I think it's funny that most of these left-leaning politicians were fully in support of Black Lives Matter, burning down their communities, shooting each other, doing everything that they were doing. And now they're taking a look at what happened at the Capitol and they're like, oh, riots are awful. You can't protest, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you've seen it. Again, hypocrisy, absolute hypocrisy. So anyway, AOC, she and again, don't tell me it's verbatim or don't expect it to be verbatim because it's not. But AOC said in one of her stupid ass videos that she does, she said something along the lines of, well, we don't vote for Joe Biden because we agree with him. We vote for Joe Biden because we want democracy to live another day. Now, again, I mean, really, is it truly democracy if, number one, you're voting for somebody because you want democracy to live, not because you agree with them, which would be the sensible thing to do, but no, because you're urging people to vote for someone because democracy is in danger, even though you're using a democratic platform to elect either one, and I would assume that most people understand that the basis of democracy is choosing the person that you agree with, the person that you like. Whatever. We do have that freedom of choice at the very least. But no, we got to vote for Joe Biden because we want democracy to live. Actually, there is a pretty good quote about a republic versus democracy and how, in a way, really America is both. It uses democracy, but it's a republic. I actually have this quote up, so I will just read this one to you. It was by Hamilton. Sorry, I believe I said Madison. Madison also defined a republic as being constituted by choosing representatives and I guess like spokespeople to vote for you and to represent representatives to represent your needs and your wants in government. But anyway, here was Hamilton's quote. He said, "It has been observed by an honorable gentleman that a pure democracy, if it were practicable, would be the most perfect government. Experience has proved that no position in politics is more false than this. The ancient democracies, in which the people themselves deliberated, never possessed one good feature of government. Their very character was tyranny, their figure deformity." So, if you want to talk about that quote, and I know, there's fucking 101 ways to skin a cat, but to me, this sounds like him recognizing the fact that pure democracy is idealistic at best, but pretty bad when it's put into practice. I mean, even some of the classical thinkers had disdain for democracy, and really their reasoning for the disdain came down to the fact that they didn't like how it was essentially a form of mob rule. So, and also the fact that people would really vote for whatever they thought sounded best, not necessarily what was best. So I remember someone talked about it a long time ago, and their example was you have a doctor or a dentist in particular, and you have somebody who sells candy, a candy salesman. Now, the dentist is going to say, "Well, you have to stop eating candy because it's bad for your teeth. It's going to ruin your teeth." Right? Whereas the candy salesman, he's going to say, "No, candy is good, right? It tastes sweet. You like it, so you should keep having it. If it tastes good, then it is good." And that's sort of a deception, right? But who do you think the average person was going to vote for in this case? They'd vote for the person that basically is selling them what they want to be sold. And there's a whole other theory on that I could go into. But this video I'm going to keep a little bit shorter, so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there and talk about how I think it's funny that everyone talks about how we are supposed to have a pure democracy, but in reality, we don't have a pure democracy. We have a republic. And once again, you look it up and the media will tell you, oh, the theory that we are a republic and not a democracy is dangerous, and it's a white supremacist lie, and it's a conspiracy theory, and all the same old bullshit that they're always going to give you. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to just kind of make this one a little bit shorter, and just really get the point out there that I think you should be upset about the troops being in the Capitol. I think that to anyone, even a blind person, could see that having troops there is a blatant form of blasphemy in terms of our republic or our democracy. I mean, neither one needs to be enforced. Really, the people are the ones that are supposed to be choosing, right? And if the people chose Biden, why are they so afraid that the people aren't going to accept him? Those are my parting thoughts. Check me out now if you want. Spotify, Apple playlists, podcasts. That's what I meant. BitChute, YouTube, whatever else. I don't know. I probably missed one or two. My blog. Yeah, that's what I missed. I actually wrote something on there, so that's cool. Check that out. Anyway, thank you guys. Feel free to get in contact with me. Give me ideas for the next podcast, video, whatever that I do. Hope you guys enjoyed it.